So one of the last things I'm doing to get ready for my upcoming trip, a little wagon ramble down to Lake Mesquite, is greasing the axles on this wagon. Now, these wheels, these beautiful wood wheels, they don't have bearings inside of them. So what you have to do is you have to loosen this nut here, this big nut. And on the right wheels, the nut turns this way. See, I'm loosening it here. There's actually a special wrench for it, which I don't have. This works fine. And on the left side, you loosen it the other way. So as the wheel turns, it actually tightens the nut. That's why the wheels on the left side, or the near side, I guess in horse talk, it's reverse threads. You want to know that when you're trying to take them off. So I'm just going to pull this off, jack the wheel up, slide it off, and grease it. You can see there's still a good bit of grease on this. That's a good sign. Grease is cheap. You do not want to run these things dry. And I don't know what the rule of thumb for this is. I've heard in the old days, depending on what kind of grease they used, it could have been lard, could have been animal fat, that sometimes they did this as often as every 20 to 30 miles. But you can see that big nut in there. And then next thing we're going to do is we're going to jack up our wagon here. You can see already that's lifting up. You can see that wheel is sliding off already. Now, there's a whole lot of grease, as you'll see, right here, already on this wheel. But I really want to make sure these are greased well. So I'm going to take this wheel now. And what I'm going to do now is just kind of pick it up here, slide it off. Try to get grease all over me. So now you can see I've got the wheel set off to the side. And now you can see what this axle looks like. It's the axle. I'm just going to take a little grease spreader, in this case a stick, a clean stick. I'm sure this is exactly how the pioneers did it, incidentally. I'm going to take some of that old grease, spread it back here on the axle. This is good old heavy grease. And there's so much from last time, I'm actually not going to even put any new grease on. So here you can actually see, I'll push some of this back for you. This axle, back here it's wood. It has this metal, I guess like a sleeve on it. I should know what this is called, but I don't. And that's what the wheel actually rolls on. But again, there are no ball bearings on this. I'm gonna take a little more of this grease. I greased these wheels about 40 miles ago, so they got lots of grease on them. I'm just gonna smear that on there. I like the red colored grease. I don't know why, but it's plenty good to keep us going. Also got a little can of grease right here. There's a little grease can. In case I need more, but there should be plenty on here. Just gonna take a look inside the hub there. See? So it's a wood wheel. Actually got this beautiful metal lining in it that rolls on the axle. Now I'm just gonna pick this up. I'm just gonna slide the wheel back on. So, funnily enough, yeah, these old wagons, they had to get lube jobs. Like, you know, your suspension on your car, grease stuff occasionally. Well, same with these wagons. So push that back on. And I'm going to take this disgustingly greasy nut here, roll it back on just like that. This is incidentally a great time to get grease all over you, your tools, your pets, your face, of course all your clothes, your yard, your grass, your doorknobs, everything, your wagon. So, just the way they used to do it. sort of. I don't think they use bottle jacks and, you know, channel grips like this. But that's it. You just greased your first wagon wheel. Congratulations. Got 3 to go on this beautiful wagon that we're going to take on our mule ramble down at Lake Mesquite. So just to show what I mean by turning the nut the other way, this is the left side, the left wheel, the driver's side wheel. Now normally you would tighten this thread this way and loosen it this way. But this is a reverse thread, which means to loosen it, I'm going to go this way, which would normally be tightening it. That's because the wheel turns this way, and you want the wheel to tighten the nut as it turns, which is why this one I'm going to loosen up like that. See, that's going to come off now like this. So these are reverse threaded. And I'm sure some of these green wagon travel pioneers like me thought, why the hell isn't this thing doing the lefty, loosey, righty-tighty thing? Well, because it's the other way around. See, now they're just going to take this off and grease it just like the other wheel. Put her nut off to the side, and now again I'm just going to pick this up. The axle's now ready to be greased. Wheels off to the side. It's actually really beautiful maintenance because you're dealing with wood, grease, and it's just a nice pace. I love this. Just a calm pace. You're kind of working with living things, and that pace transfers to how you deal with them. It's nice. So I just pulled the left front wheel on this wagon, and I'm going to grease the axle, but I want to show you why you need to pull these wheels and why they need to be greased. So see this little dry spot right here? So there's no grease here, but there's still quite a bit of old grease right in here. Now that's no big deal because you see there's grease down a little bit below here, and as the wheel turns, some of this grease here will get smeared up on to this dry spot. But you really don't want too much of this dry area because this metal on your axle is going to rub against the metal inside your hub here. This is just steel. And when you start getting dry metal rubbing on dry metal, that's when you run into problems. Wear, heat, friction. So this is why you grease your wagon axles. So I'm going to actually get some new grease out of my little tin here. I should have a nice flat piece of wood. Instead I've got a branch off our privet tree. But just to show you, I'm going to put a lot more on than this. Just give it some good grease. Grease is cheap. In fact, I'm going to get a piece of wood now and do it with that. So I just went out to the woodshed and I whacked off a piece of, this is just a poplar split. It's tulip poplar. You can still see a little bit of the bark here. So I'm just going to get a nice gob of grease here. Again, like I said, grease is cheap. Slathered on. Get it all nicely covered. When you look at these hubs, you'll notice that there's some grease here outside the hub, right here. Right there. See, there's some. Now, that might look like good grease to use, and I've used it before. But what you want to watch out, see right there, that's a hunk of grit. Not even going to touch it. That's just like sand or some dirt. What you don't want to do is take this dirty grease and smear it on your axle. Yeah, I know. I used some on the other side. It was clean though. Here, this looks kind of dirty and kind of scuzzy in here, so I'm just going to leave it alone. And I haven't done the math on it, but I think it's cheaper to use grease out of a tin for this than a grease gun. But of course, you could use grease out of a grease gun if that's what you wanted. If you what you had. Works fine. It's all the same kind of heavy grease. Now let's take this wheel. I'm checking there for any burrs. I mean, everything looks fine in there. It's a little dry, And again, I've gone less than 30 miles since I greased these last. So you need to do this fairly often. So I'm just rolling this into place. There you go. So I've got it lined up now. I'll pick it up, got it on. And there comes the shaft. Right there, it's the axle shaft. So again here, because I'm on the left side, because of the way the wheel rolls, I'm gonna do lefty, loosy, righty, tighty, which is backward to the conventional way. But the easy way to remember it is just put the nut on, or the nut needs to go on, so that the wheel will tighten it in effect as it rolls. Kind of don't want to touch this nasty thing, so I'm doing this with my channel, with my wrench here. Sometimes it works, sometimes I get lucky. There we go. It's threaded now. No, it's not. Damn it. See, if I had a film crew, I'd use both hands. Damn it, I'm going to use both hands. Damn the snow. Just use my fingers. Ah, see, I was turning it the wrong way. Just got to go this way. So see, there's a classic example of how I was trying to turn it the wrong way and it wouldn't thread. But this way, once again, when this wheel turns this direction, it's going to tighten this nut. So, see, so easy to make that mistake, and I just did. God, I'm doing it again. Damn it. It's just muscle memory and reflex, righty-tighty. That's the way things tighten up, but not on the left front or left back wheel of a covered wagon, or any wagon with wood wheels, for that sake. Last little tighten. Ah. That's it. These don't have to be insanely tight, because the wheel, if anything, is going to tighten them just that last little teeny tiny bit, if need be. That's it. You can now tighten the wagon wheel on the off side. Once incorrectly, second time we did it right. Happy greasing, pioneer friends. O Tannenbaum, wie treu sind deine